Hi, my name is Elijah. Today, I would like to show you how to activate adaptive bitrate streaming in Antimedia server. Now, I have written a full article about this feature, and it is very crucial if you need it to stream, to optimize your live streaming infrastructure to deliver a seamless experience to your audience. Traditional video streaming had to deliver fixed bitrate streaming without any alternative to dynamic transcoding. And if your target audience's network connection was poor, they could experience buffering problem, something that could often lead to poor viewing experience for them. Now, to solve this issue, engineers had to come up with an intelligent algorithm that supports a technique called adaptive bitrate streaming. By definition, adaptive bitrate streaming is a technique used to deliver video streaming content over the internet in a way that adjusts to the user's internet connection speed and device capabilities. Now, this feature is so powerful that if you are experiencing a slow or sluggish internet connection and you're streaming videos online, the platform that has integrated adaptive bitrate streaming feature, your viewing experience won't be so affected because of your internet connection. So you will be assigned the appropriate quality of video that fits in the speed or the bandwidth of your network connection. And that is one of the best features about Antimedia. If your live stream server supports ABR, the video player automatically adjusts the quality of the video being played to match the available network bandwidth. If the network connection is slow, the video player will switch to a lower quality stream, which requires less bandwidth to prevent buffering or stalling. If the network connection improves, the player will again automatically switch to a higher quality stream for a better viewing experience. This process is done by the video player detecting the available bandwidth and device capability and requesting the appropriate stream from the streaming server. The server delivers multiple versions of the same video file at different bit rates. Now, this is what platforms like YouTube are using. When you upload a video on YouTube, your video is gonna be transcoded into various bit rates and resolutions. And that's why you're able to, the system will automatically detect that the viewer's network connection is poor, and they will be switched to an appropriate video resolution that can fit into the network performance of the viewer. For example, if you're experiencing a poor internet connection, you're gonna be exposed to a lower resolution so that you keep streaming seamlessly without having to experience the buffering problem. And let me try to show you this on YouTube. For example, when you go to YouTube and put in a video like this one, let's go to YugaComp, my YouTube channel, and then you stream you stream a video like, you click on the video like this. You realize that under the settings feature, there is where you can see the various video resolutions that are attached to your video that you've uploaded. Now, these various resolutions, the various versions of your video, are created by YouTube servers. The YouTube servers will transcode your videos into various formats, into various resolutions, to enable your audience to stream based on their network connection. For example, if your network connection is poor, the system, the algorithm from YouTube is gonna switch you automatically to a lower resolution, and then you'll keep streaming but at a poor quality. You can also set the viewing experience manually. For example, if I'm in YouTube, I can just manually set to a lower resolution, so it becomes the default resolution whenever I try to stream or watch a video on YouTube. Now, this functionality is as a result of an algorithm or a set of algorithms that were developed to solve the buffering issues on lower speed networks. Now, Antimedia is one of the most popular or one of the fastest growing streaming servers out there. Actually, I have helped several clients all over the world to deploy Antimedia to stream for various so that they can cater for their streaming needs. I have deployed hundreds of servers, Antimedia servers for some clients in the Philippines, and I deploy them on AWS. So AWS has a lot of, Antimedia has a lot of potential if you trying to set up a large-scale streaming infrastructure for your audience. One of the best thing about Antimedia is that it comes with these features that can be customized to ensure optimal performance for your streaming. Now, just as I said, adaptive bitrate streaming ensures that your streaming audience will receive a consistent and uninterrupted viewing experience regardless of their network connection or device capability. It helps to eliminate buffering, stuttering, or freezing during video playback, leading to a better experience. Now, this article has everything you need to know, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description below so you can read through everything that I've talked about regarding adaptive bitrate streaming and Antimedia. So, does adaptive bitrate streaming use transcoding? Adaptive bitrate streaming typically involves video transcoding, which is the process of converting a video file into multiple versions based on certain metrics like bitrates and resolutions. Now, what happens is, for example, for the case of YouTube, is that when you upload your YouTube video, the YouTube servers in the data center will logically transcode or convert your video into various resolutions and bitrates. So this is what happens. The transcoding engine is gonna convert your video file into various versions based on metrics like bitrates and resolution. Just like as you see here on YouTube, the video that I uploaded on YouTube has been converted into various resolutions. So this is what happens. The adaptive functionality, the engine, the transcoding engine on the server does that. Similarly, in Antimedia, the Antimedia server also allows you to, when you upload the video and you set it up, it's gonna convert your video or your live stream into various resolutions and bit rates. So it has been embedded with an algorithm or a set of algorithms that are able to do that. So transcoding itself involves two processes. There is what we call translating, which involves converting video or audio bitrate to a certain rate. For example, a video file with high bitrate can be converted to lower bitrate. And there is also what we call transizing. This involves the resizing of the video resolution. In this process, a video resolution can be converted from high to low. For example, a 1080p video can be resized to a 720 to 720p resolution. Now, during the process of transcoding, multiple versions of the same video file are created at different bit rates, resolutions, and codecs, something that enables ABR or Adaptive Bitrate Streaming to employ its intelligent logic. How does Adaptive Bitrate Streaming work in Antimedia Server? Basically, Antimedia Server supports Adaptive Bitrate Streaming by using HTTP live streaming and dynamic adaptive streaming over HTTP protocols. The Antimedia Server achieves ABR by encoding the video at different bitrates and resolutions and creating multiple versions of the same video stream. Just as I said, just as it is in the case of YouTube, that is how it works. In the same way it works with Antimedia. Once your streams are live, what you have to do is to activate the adaptive streaming, bitrate streaming feature, and then the engine will run in the background to convert your streams into various versions based on certain metrics like codecs, resolutions, and bitrates. So, how much computing power does Antimedia Server need to use adaptive bitrate streaming? As we know it by now, adaptive bitrate streaming requires transcoding to compress the original video file into multiple lower quality versions, each optimized for a specific bandwidth range. Now, the amount of computing power required for ABR can vary depending on several factors, including the complexity of the encoding and transcoding algorithm used, the size and resolution of the video, and the number of simultaneous streams, and the hardware capabilities of the streaming server. The hard truth is, this ABR process is computationally intensive and requires high-performance server or cloud infrastructure with specialized hardware such as graphics processing units, GPUs. Do you really need a GPU for Antimedia Server to activate ABR? By the way, ABR is the short form for Adaptive Bitrate Streaming. In the context of video streaming, GPUs are often used for tasks such as video transcoding, which involves converting video files from one format to another, and video encoding, which involves compressing video data for transmission over a network. These tasks are highly parallelable and require complex mathematical operations, which makes GPUs well suited for such workloads. GPUs can handle large amounts of data in parallel and are optimized for processing video data, resulting in faster and more efficient video streaming. On the other hand, CPUs are more versatile and can handle a wide range of tasks, including video streaming, but may not be efficient or as fast as GPUs when it comes to video transcoding and encoding. Now, the number of CPU cores needed to match the performance of a single GPU for video streaming would depend on the specific task being performed, the characteristics of the GPU and CPU being compared, and the quality and complexity of the video being streamed. Which AWS GPU optimized instances offer good computational power for adaptive bitrate streaming? Well, there are various kinds of GPU optimized instances on AWS. I have provided a table below here in this article. You can try to look out or check them out and see if they can work for you. But I also need to warn you in advance that if you're going for GPU optimized instances on AWS, they are a bit pricier. They are costly. So they're gonna cost you some money to run these kind of instances on AWS. There are several instances, the G4 instance family and the P3 instance family. They are optimized with various kinds of GPU. GPU. They have NVIDIA Tesla T4. There is NVIDIA V100, and they are pretty good GPUs that you can use if you are planning to stream or to activate high resource intensive adaptive streaming feature in multimedia. But how to activate adaptive bitrate streaming on multimedia server? And this is the topic of the day, because you just want to learn how to activate this feature. So I needed to give you a brief background of what adaptive bitrate streaming actually means and why you may need it for your multimedia streaming. We basically need it to optimize performance for our streaming audience. We don't want our audience to keep experiencing buffering problems where at their end when their network has slowed down. All we have to do is to optimize the performance of our server by providing them with various resolutions that can automatically and dynamically be activated whenever there is change in their network performance. So this is where multimedia comes in and checks the network performance of the end user, and when the network is poor, it will automatically trigger another version of the video or another resolution of the video, and to catch up with the appropriate the prevailing network connection at the time. Now, if you want to activate this feature, all you have to do is to log in. You have to log in to your multimedia by going to your multimedia dashboard. If you don't know how multimedia dashboard is, but I'm guessing right now you already have multimedia installed, so you can just log into your multimedia, and then after logging in, you select a particular application that has your streams that you've set up. Now, by default, multimedia comes with two streaming applications. The one which is called Live App, and there is one which is called Web RTC App. I have also talked about these here in this article. So it comes with these two applications. So whenever you want to set up a stream or various streams, all you have to do is to go to any of these applications, or you can create a new live stream, or you can upload a VOD file, or whatever you need, you can set it up from here. Now, each, as I said, the settings of each application work independent of the other. What do I mean here? The settings of this app, which is called Live App, cannot correspond with the settings of this app. So the settings of each app are independent of the other. What you set up from here, when you configure the settings of a particular app, they won't affect the other app, unless if you individually go there and set the same settings as you did the other one. So to set up adaptive bitrate streaming functionality in multimedia, all you have to do is to click on an appropriate app that has your streams. So when I mean that, if you have set up some streams here and you want to stream them, so you click on a particular streaming app, and then you go to settings. So when you go to settings and then you scroll down a little bit, and then this is where you set up adaptive bitrate streaming. But in advance, they're also warning you adaptive streaming is a process intensive operation. Please use it if you know what you're doing. They warn you in advance. This feature consumes too much computing power. Once you trigger it, it's gonna burn your computing power, the CPU and RAM, very fast. So assuming if you have a weak server, you're likely to burn out very fast, and your objectives won't be achieved as you intend. The server I'm using here is kind of powerful. It's a powerful server with more computing resources. This server has 3.6 TB of hard disk, and it has about 64 GB of RAM, and it has a lot of computing power. Now, for your case, you may have a small server that is not so optimized for high resource intensive tasks like adaptive streaming, so you need to be careful. If you don't know what you're doing, I would actually advise you from a technical point of view, from an expert point of view, to avoid triggering this feature, especially if your server cannot support transcoding functionality, because transcoding involves consuming much CPU, and if your CPU is small, then you're going to burn out, and maybe your server may even crash, or even start hanging. Your streams may start hanging or even buffering. So you can avoid this feature if your server is not so powerful. Now, to set up this feature, as I told you, you have to select a particular app where you have your streams. If you have your streams under live app, like as you can see in this example, and then you can go to settings and then scroll down under adaptive streaming. From there, you have to add certain metrics and define your metrics. Here you can define the frame rate per second, more frame rate. If you add, like you say, maybe frame rate to be 60, and then it's gonna be very, very expensive for you. I mean, in terms of resource consumption, I would probably advise you to leave it at 30 frame rate per second, and also you start selecting the predefined resolutions that have been given to you by Antimedia. So we have this one. This is probably the highest resolution defined here, and then you can also add another one. You can also add another one, the 1080 resolution. You can also add the 720p. You can also add the 480p. You can add this one, and you can add the last one. Now, basically, what we are doing here, we are giving instruction to the server for the algorithm to create various versions of our streams based on these metrics. So what will happen here is that when we save these settings here. After saving these settings here, and then when you go back here in live streams, what will happen is that your live streams that are triggered here are going to be fetched from the versions that have been created here. So when someone watches your live stream and their network connection drops and it can't support 1080, they would automatically be switched to a lower resolution that can work with their current state of network. I hope I'm making some point. Your audience will automatically be switched based on the network performance of their network. If their network is poor, they will automatically be served the lower version of your streams. So it could be 240, it could be 360, it could be 480, and it will depend on the network performance of their devices. So the algorithm of the Antimedia, the adaptive bitrate streaming algorithm, will automatically detect the end user's network performance and then serve them the appropriate video resolutions, the video stream resolutions. Now, this is basically what you need, the simple information that you need to know about triggering adaptive bitrate streaming in Antimedia. I have written in this article I am gonna leave a link in the description below, so you can read, you take your time to read everything you need to know, and then you trigger this feature after understanding how it works and the other technical aspect of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I request you to subscribe to this channel. You hit the subscribe button here, and then it will enable you to follow everything that I do on this channel. And also, when you subscribe to this channel, you are supporting my work in one way or the other. So I really appreciate that. If you watch this video, or if you have watched this video and appreciated the information that I've given you, I request you to subscribe. Most of the people who watch these videos, they probably don't subscribe, but if you subscribe, you are helping me to, you are also motivating me and helping me in that particular way. Thank you so much, and see you once again.